Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to Astrology with Georgie. If you are new here, hi, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am Georgie. I am a Western astrologer using the tropical zodiac. I am living in the UK. Come and say hi. If you get some value from this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't lose me in the realm of YouTube and you don't miss any future content from me. I am here most weeks. I do all new and full moons and any extra videos that I can cram in my time as well. So in this video, we are going to be discussing house rulerships. This is going to be like a bit of a teaching video, guys. So a little bit different from my normal videos if you are a regular watcher of the channel. But I just felt really called towards giving you an extra piece of how to kind of really understand your own charts. So this video is appropriate if you are an astrology beginner and if you are kind of intermediate level as well. And it's just kind of helping you piece together parts of your own chart. So if you have just started learning astrology, if you know a little bit, if you have your own chart, then this is a really good place to start. Now, if you don't have your chart, then go to astroseek.com. I really recommend astroseek.com. I find it to be the most accurate and also easy to read website. I just find the graphics, everything on there is really easy. And even though I have professional software now, I'm always reverting back to AstroSeek. And sometimes, you know, I go and put charts in there and I read them and I look at them on there because I just find the graphics and the way they lay stuff out really easy. So if you are a newbie, go to astroseek.com, put your birth information, your time, location, and obviously date into there and get your chart up. I think this is probably going to be a bit more beneficial to those who already have their chart because I don't want you to get confused, but be sure to save this video and come back to this video once you've had a look at your natal chart and you've just got familiar with the planets, because I'm going to be discussing your house rulerships, which might seem a bit confusing if you don't even know where your planets are to start with. So basically, the best place to start when learning astrology is understanding what all of the zodiac signs mean. Getting to be familiar with the different zodiac signs, because everybody has all 12 zodiac signs in their chart, whether they like to admit it or not. Each zodiac sign is somewhere in your chart. Now, the planets are going to fall in certain signs in your own personal chart and certain houses. The houses obviously represent different areas of your life. So the planet is like the character, the sign is how it's expressing itself, and then the house is which area of life the planet is being expressed. The aspects, which are the lines in the middle, are how the planets are having conversations with each other. Are they working well together, or are they fighting for control, or are they fighting to be top dog kind of thing? Are they getting along, or are they niggling at each other? And that's what we can see from the different aspects. But a lot of people think, especially when first learning astrology, that that's just kind of it. You just find out, okay, which sign and which house is my planet in. But there's so much more to it than that when we're looking at the house rulerships, which is what this video is all about. So what I mean by that is each sign is ruled by a planet. And I'm going to run through those now. So I'll run through those now. So either get a pen or make sure that you obviously save this video so you can come back to it. So Aries is ruled by Mars. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Leo is ruled by the sun. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. Libra is also ruled by Venus as well as Taurus. So Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, okay? Now, the modern ruler is Pluto, and you can write that down as well. But if you are a beginner, it might just be a bit more useful just to focus on Mars, the traditional ruler, for the purpose of what we're about to do, because it can get a bit confusing. Later on, you can look at Pluto as well. But just for the purpose of what we're learning today, just focus on Mars being the ruler of Scorpio, because it's the traditional ruling planet. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Aquarius is traditionally also ruled by Saturn, okay? Modernly by Uranus, but again, let's just focus on the traditional planets for now. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter traditionally, modernly by Neptune, but we'll just stick with Jupiter for now. So now that you know which planet rules each sign, when you are looking at your natal chart, you need to start understanding that wherever your planets fall, they are then in charge. The planet that rules that sign is in charge of these planets. So for example, in this chart, this is just an imaginary chart, but let's pretend this is a human. This person's moon is in Aquarius. So the dispositor of this, the planet in charge of this moon, is Saturn. Where's Saturn in this chart? It's over here in the 8th house and in the sign of Pisces. So this is going to add us another layer to this person's moon. So let's just start off with the moon placement. So let's just say, okay, this person has their moon in Aquarius. They're going to be somebody that is very kind of unconventional, untraditional. They like to do things kind of their own way. It's very stubborn. It's very humanitarian. It's a very humanitarian placement, having your moon in Aquarius. Somebody that likes to root for the underdog and likes to see people as equal. In the 7th house, an emotional attachment to your relationships. You identify with other people in some way. But with Saturn ruling this in the 8th house, this is bringing in some sort of intimacy, some sort of transformation around this person's relationships. There's a direct connection between being intimate, going deeper, uncovering truths, and maybe going through some sort of transformation for this person and their relationships. So can you see there's an extra layer to the puzzle? Now, let's go with the sun, because that's quite a good one to try and understand first. So if you are this person, let's say this person is an Aries, this imaginary person is an Aries. Now, whatever zodiac sign you are, how many people do you know of the same zodiac sign that are completely different to you? Now, yes, there's lots of different parts of astrology that we can kind of relate that to, but one of the main parts is, where is your ruling planet of your sun? So if you are in Aries, where is your Mars? This person's Mars is in Cancer. This person is going to be a much gentler Aries than somebody who had their Mars that rules this also in Aries, because that person is going to be slightly more combative and forward, forward, more bold than the person that has their Mars in Cancer, because Mars is the dispositor of your sun. Does that make sense? Mars is in charge of this, so you have to go and see what Mars is doing. Mars in the 12th house, you might be somebody that's kind of finds it difficult to assert their energy, or needs to spend a lot of time alone, or has a direct connection to spiritual modalities, or is somebody that is likes to be behind the scenes more. Okay, so can you see you're not just looking at the placement of your planet, you're looking at the rulership. So let's do this with all these planets. So again, this person has their Venus in Aries, Mars is in Cancer. So the themes of love around this person, because Venus is your love, it's your money, it's where you get enjoyment. So this person, Venus in Aries in the 9th house, is somebody that is going to be very bold when it comes to their love life. Probably somebody that likes to make the first move, very brash, kind of impatient, not scared to go after what they want. 9th house, somebody that enjoys travel, enjoys learning, enjoys other cultures. But the ruler of this is Mars in Cancer. So again, it's adding that sense of, actually, maybe this person really loves faraway places. Maybe this person has relationships going on behind the scenes, because Mars is ruling this and it's in the 12th house. So it's pulling in some sort of secrecy when it comes to money or relationships. So you're adding an extra layer. Same with Mercury, exactly the same with Mercury. except Mercury rules your mind and your intellect. So somebody that has an interest in learning other cultures, learning other languages, again, traveling faraway places, maybe somebody that is a teacher or a motivational speaker or something. But with Mars ruling this in Cancer in the 12th house, again, there's that element of softness, that element of understanding, the element of being able to tap into your emotions, into other people's emotions, which isn't always available to an Aries, but with their Mars in Cancer, it will be available to them. But again, it's the 12th house. So somebody that likes studying or learning behind the scenes, traveling to faraway places, somebody that there's some sort of sensitivity here to the way that this person learns and takes on information. So can you see you're adding the extra layer? This person's Uranus is in the 10th house. Somebody that wants to be different and rebellious when it comes to their career. Somebody that wants to be known for being unconventional, wants to be known for doing something different. So like, for example, that could be like an astrologer. But then who's ruling this? Venus. Venus is in the 9th house. Somebody that maybe teaches astrology, or their career that's different is known in other cultures, is known for maybe traveling or teaching, or their beliefs. There's a connection here between their career and their beliefs. So can you see you're adding different extra pieces in? Jupiter in the 11th house. So this is somebody that is going to benefit from their social networks and their friendships and their groups. And Mercury that rules this is in the 9th house. Somebody that may make friends abroad. Somebody that may teach a large group of people. You're adding in the 9th house and the 11th house. So can you see you're joining lots of pieces together? So let's take a look at, let's do Mars. So Mars in the 12th house in Cancer, somebody, like I said, that is maybe finds it difficult to assert their energy, quite sensitive, and needs a lot of time to retreat. Moves in their motivation comes from their emotions with Mars in Cancer. And with the moon ruling this over in the 7th house in Aquarius, the moon is the dispositor of this. Their motivation can be linked towards working with other people directly one-on-one. This could be something to do with their work. It could be their relationship, a connection with their relationships. But the moon is ruling this. So their behavior is going to be directly connected to how they feel. So maybe they act when they feel like acting, you know, they go to the gym when they feel like it, that kind of stuff. So you're directly seeing connecting the moon here, but moon in the 7th house, maybe they prefer to do things with other people. When they feel like going to the gym, they prefer to do it with another person. There's that other person involved, 7th house. That's just a tiny example. These are just tiny examples, but it's just showing you extra pieces of the puzzle. Now, I've got another example chart here. Let's have a look at Jeffrey Dahmer. Let's just piece together some bits of his chart. So, for example, your rising sign, okay? Where is your chart ruler? This is so important. Please don't think that you are a certain rising sign just because you've met someone else and you think that you're like them, so you must be that rising sign. If say you didn't know your time of birth, or you know, maybe you're guessing someone's rising sign based on how they are. That's very difficult because you're not kind of putting all the different bits together. So what I mean by this, Libra rising general, okay, somebody that is generally quite pleasant, generally quite polite, generally quite put together. But where is the ruling planet? So Venus rules this. Where's Venus? Well, she's in Taurus. She's very happy, but she's in the 8th house. This is somebody that had a connection to deep, dark, and taboo topics. This is Jeffrey Dahmer. Need I say more? In the sign of Taurus. Well, he, you know, if we're going to go deep, he liked to actually, I don't even know if I can say that if I'm going to monetize this, but you know what he was famous for, right? So Venus and Taurus, Taurus rules food, enjoying the senses, you know, fill in the gaps here, guys, without me saying too much. So that's where his Venus was. Now, his moon in Aries, and Mars is here too. So that automatically, so Mars being the dispositor of his moon is in the same sign. So that's putting an extra Aries oomph onto his moon because Mars is here. So this is someone that was emotionally explosive, emotionally impulsive, and had an emotional attachment to significant relationships in their life. So his mother would have had a big influence on him, 100%. His sun in Gemini, in the ninth house, in the sign of Gemini, and interestingly, Mercury that rules this is here with it. So again, that's making him extra Gemini. So when we're looking at the dispositors, if it's in the same sign, on the one hand, it's actually helping that planet out because it's almost like the host is having you around for tea and is there helping you. But it makes you, rather than adding that extra layer that we were talking about, in this case, he is just very Gemini. Now let's think about his Saturn in his fourth house. Again, that's actually a third planet. He's got lots of planets in their own signs. That's actually very interesting, and that offers another topic, but that's interesting. His Mars is in Aries, own sign, own sign, own sign, own sign. This was actually a really bad example to do for this case, but yeah, that's interesting. I've just noticed that. Anyway, we'll go to Jupiter. So Jupiter is in Capricorn, and like we said, Saturn is here. So Saturn is helping out Jupiter, but it's putting extra emphasis on the house. It's putting extra emphasis on that house. So his family were very important and shaped his beliefs. Jupiter is our beliefs. So his family would have shaped his beliefs very strongly, which is also interesting as it's in the sign of Capricorn, which can be a bit serious and negative. Anyway, I digress. That's not the point of this video. Let's take a look at his Pluto, because Pluto is in the 12th house in the sign of Virgo. So this is ruled by Mercury. So Pluto is all about where we transform. It's our fears. It's where we hold our power. Pluto in the 12th house. He had significant mental health issues that we know about now, but the ruler of this was Mercury, and it's up here in Gemini. So that's kind of adding a frantic element to his mental health already, because Pluto in the 12th house, mental health, powerful mind. But just for the sake of we're looking at rulerships, Mercury was in charge of this. It's under the beams of the sun, and it's in Gemini, which is kind of frantic. Is that the word I want to use? Yes, curious. For example, as a child, he was extremely curious in some interesting subjects. But that's just adding a layer. So his mental health was basically kind of very mercurial. So very mentally active, kind of anxious. He would have had a mind that was kind of a million miles an hour. And there's lots of other aspects in his chart, which I'm not going to go into because that's not the point of this video. But that would have kind of added to his mental health issues, shall we say. Now, his Uranus is in the 11th house. This is where he wants to break free from the norm, where he feels rebellious, where he likes to do things differently. That's in his friendships, the groups that he was actually known on a global scale for being unusual. The ruler of this was the sun, again over in Gemini. Somebody that was curious, somebody that Gemini rules the news. Gemini rules information. There's been many documentaries, films, newspaper articles written about this person. And so you could say that that was a direct correlation between how he influenced the world and social media, or just media, newspapers, television, everything kind of published about him. So you could say that correlation was there. So can you see, we're just kind of putting different parts of the puzzle together to try and get a bigger overview, a bigger picture of this person's life. This is just an example. Now you can do this in your own chart, and this is really helpful if you have empty houses. So if you don't have anything in your first house, okay, what's the ruler doing? It's over here in the 8th house. If you don't have anything in your 5th house, okay, what rules this? Well, this is Aquarius. So Saturn traditionally rules this is in the fourth house. So it's tying in aspects of the empty house. The fifth house is children, fun, creativity, what you enjoy. His is in ruled by Saturn, and it's into the fourth house. So somebody that only liked having fun behind closed doors, somebody that was maybe a bit introverted. Fourth house is like the secret inner parts of ourselves. Having a fifth and a fourth house ruled by Saturn, you know, your home environment may have been kind of emotionally cold, depending on other aspects. But we can see that just because he has an empty house, it doesn't mean that nothing's going on. It doesn't mean he doesn't have any enjoyment. It doesn't mean that he wasn't creative. The fifth house is also your love life in the sign of Aquarius, which makes you different. And I think he was a homosexual, wasn't he? But the ruler of this being in the fourth house, like I said, is somebody that maybe like to keep their love life to themselves, keep things in private, keep what they did for fun in private in some way. Now, using your imagination without me mentioning it, what he did for fun was very Saturnian. And he did do it behind closed doors. Need I say more? So that's just a kind of an example. So you can do this in your own chart. And actually also just looking at his 10th house. So 10th house, no planets here, ruled by the moon. The moon is in the 7th house. His public image and his reputation was directly connected to the relationships and what he did to those people. You know what I'm saying? So that's really interesting. His reputation correctly connected to his relationships and what he did to other people. So this is just such a random example. I know this is a really, really random example chart, but do this with your own chart. So go through each of your planets and knowing yourself, try and work out how the patterns are connected. How is your sun sign affected by the ruler of it? Who's ruling your sun sign? You know, if your sun is in Taurus, where's your Venus? Because if you are a Taurus sun and your Venus is in Aries, you're going to be so different than somebody who has their Taurus sun and their Venus in Pisces. The Pisces person is going to be very gentle, very caring of other people, very, very understanding. And the Aries person is going to be impatient and brash and a bit more in your face. That's fine, but that's two very different people there, even though they would both be Tauruses. So it's very, very interesting and very useful to work out the house rulerships and where they are in your chart. So go and do it. Let me know how you get on. I hope that you've kind of understood this video and I haven't just been kind of confusing anyone. So do let me know in the comments if you have any questions and I will try and answer them. And I will see you in the next one. I also do readings. If you'd like your own personal chart read, then yeah, drop me an email. My information is on my page. My website's on my page and all of my readings are on there. If you happen to watch this before the 30th of March, I am doing 15% off all of my services for Mother's Day. So don't miss out on that. That is available until the 30th of March. So yeah, don't miss out on that. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.